From Washington, the McLaughlin Group, the American original. For over 2 decades, the sharpest minds, best sources, hardest talk. The McLaughlin Group is brought to you by MetLife. Guarantees for the if in life.
Issue 1, John Sidney McCain III.
I know I have a responsibility, if I am, as I hope to be, the Republican nominee for president, to unite the party and prepare for the great contest in November. And I am acutely aware that I cannot succeed in that endeavor, nor can our party prevail over the challenge we will face from either Senator Clinton or Senator Obama without the support of dedicated conservatives.
On Thursday afternoon at about 1 o'clock Eastern Time, Mitt Romney dropped out of the presidential race. 2 hours later, John McCain took the microphone at the same CPAC podium, the Conservative Political Action Committee, and he addressed the Buchanan Brigades. Question: is McCain now the de facto GOP presidential nominee? Pat Buchanan.
Unless a major event intervenes, McCain's going to march straight to the nomination. Mike Huckabee is the longest of long shots. Not only that, but McCain has set his strategy, John. The campaign is going to be about the war in Iraq. It's going to be about the Democrats allegedly raising the white flag of surrender, pulling out, abandoning what 4,000 guys have died for, and John McCain staying the course until victory is achieved.
Yes, he is the de facto nominee, and I think he will be formidable. But first, I want to welcome Pat and the Buchanan Brigades to the 21st century. Right, yes. And look, I think McCain is actually a formidable figure. The country may be looking for a father figure. We don't know what's going to unfold over the coming year. And baby boomers are having a hard enough time having doctors who are younger than they are that they may gravitate to this gentleman. And the way that he won the nomination, the comeback, the principled man of courage. I mean, I think he is a good candidate. It's hard for Pat to accept, but I think the fact that he is tied to the most unpopular part of the Bush legacy, the war, is going to be a very hard hurdle for him to overcome.
And he shows no signs of backing off that.
Oh, he could not possibly back off.
He said it will affect generations to come if we withdraw prematurely. Okay, McCain disdain.
On the issue of illegal immigration, a position which obviously still provokes the outspoken opposition of many conservatives. I stood my ground, aware that my position would imperil my campaign.
Question: what was McCain's most significant concession to conservatives in his CPAC appearance? I ask you, Monica.
Well, John McCain could have greeted the conservatives at this conference the way he greets the press every day. Good morning, jerks. But he didn't. And what he did was try to, well, look, what you saw was as humble and entreaty as you will ever get from John McCain. And he hit 3 points that are very important to conservatives: tax cuts, judicial appointments, and illegal immigration. And as you saw in that clip, look, 2 out of 3 isn't bad for John McCain.
What did he concede on?
But the most passionate point for the conservative base is illegal immigration.
What did he concede on illegal immigration? How did he get out of it?
Border first, border enforcement first, which he has been talking about now for months.
Was that deft?
Well,
he didn't sacrifice his position on immigration.
No,
he just said we'll do the border
first.
Did.
And look, he went to the conservatives, to his credit, and basically paraphrased Popeye. I am what I am. I'm not going to change. The dilemma for conservatives is they have very few cards to play. If they try to work some leverage against McCain to try to get him to change, first of all, McCain isn't going to change. But let's say he does.
You mean on general amnesty?
On immigration, for example. Let's say he does, which I don't think he will. If he does, then he becomes a flip-flopper, which then becomes a weapon for either Senator Clinton or Senator Obama to use against him and makes him more vulnerable.
Okay, the winsome McCain.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been a little while since I've had the honor of addressing you, and I appreciate very much your courtesy to me today. You know, we should do this more often. I hope you'll pardon my absence last year and understand that I intended no personal insult to any of you. I was merely preoccupied with the business of trying to escape the distinction of preseason frontrunner for the Republican nomination.
Question, does McCain need conservatives to win the GOP nomination, and did he get them from this appearance at this gathering? Christian.
I think McCain needs the conservatives to not cause problems for him. And this is a very interesting situation for the Republican Party because, as Eleanor said, something really incredible has happened, which is, if you think about where the United States is right now, economy slowing down, probably entering a recession, war in Iraq, even if you think it's a great idea in the long term, certainly not going well right now, very unpopular Republican administration. It should be a cakewalk for the Democrats. And yet the Republicans seem to be coalescing around a guy who stands a real chance. So the question is, does the conservative base feel that McCain, who actually on most issues has an extremely conservative voting record, because he doesn't touch certain emotional points, they say, no, we don't want you, we prefer Hillary or Barack to be president?
Doesn't he need the conservatives from an arithmetic point of view?
Well,
he needs them not to really cause him big problems.
Can he win without the conservative vote?
Can he win what? The nomination or the presidency?
What?
The nomination or the presidency?
He's got the nomination. He needs their energy, enthusiasm.
No, talk about the presidency.
He needs their energy, enthusiasm, and fire. And if they don't put it behind him, they've got to put it in a tax on the Democratic nominee, be it Obama or Hillary. Look, the Republicans, it's a very even country. He needs everything, and the enthusiasm of Christians and conservatives is essential.
What he also needs is for them not to force him to assume such conservative positions in the race for the nomination that he becomes unpalatable or flip-flops is not going to do.
I want to ask you this.
All right.
To win the election, it seems to me, he needs the Latino vote. Now he's taken this position, which is very agreeable to Latinos, which goes to your point. If he reverses that position on immigration, he will lose the Latino vote, will he not?
However much he adjusts his position, the Democrats are still so much better on that, and the excitement in the Latino community is much greater. But in terms of the conservatives are going to start seeing virtues in John McCain that they might have overlooked before, because if it's Hillary Clinton, she will unify the party, and if it's Barack Obama, the generational choice will be so stark. It will be like Dwight Eisenhower versus John F. Kennedy.
Barack Obama will lose much of the Latino vote to McCain, because the Latinos don't care about the border fence. They care about no return to Mexico, and McCain is with them on all fours. And you're right.
Hold on. Well, this is an exit question. You can develop it. Exit question. Who should McCain pick as his running mate?
McCain should pick as his running mate a blue state individual who can deliver a good state out of Hillary's base or Kerry's base, something like that. He should not go south, I think, because I think the best.
Give me a name. Give me a name.
I mean, look, I tell you, it would be Tom Ridge would be outstanding if he were pro-life.
Well,
not Huckabee.
No, Huckabee just gives you what you should already have.
Governor Tim Pawlenty, Minnesota, who I mentioned on this show a couple of weeks ago, and I named him from the wrong state. I apologize, Minnesota.
Yeah, you got mail on that.
I know, I got a lot of mail on that.
Well, they surprised they were surprised that you went there.
Yeah, but I'm from Queens. I do confuse some of those states out there. I apologize.
Okay. So you're sticking with Pawlenty. What about you?
There is still a lot of thunder on the right with regard to John McCain, but the McCain nomination did not materialize out of thin air, and it wasn't derived solely from moderates and independents. A lot of Republicans voted for John McCain, and a decent number of conservatives did too. Conservatives have a choice to make. Are they going to sit home, fume about John McCain, try to fight him, stew in their own frustration, or are they going to grow up and deal realistically with the options that they have? McCain can try to heal that rift by picking somebody as his vice president who will be an executive, because you got a senator at the top of the ticket, you need an executive. So you need a governor. Somebody from the Northeast would help. Mitt Romney.
What gender?
Mitt Romney, because he's also stronger on illegal immigration as well. If McCain can see his way past the personal animus, Romney would be the choice. Yes.
You want to speak to this? Who should be his running mate?
I think it shouldn't be Huckabee. and he should resist pressure to sort of balance the ticket for
Huckabee has been
evangelicals.
ruled out. Go ahead, keep talking.
I think if he can, he should pick someone with executive experience. If he can find a Republican woman governor, that would be ideal.
You hit the nail right on the head. A Republican governor, female. When we come back, will the Latino vote decide who will win the Democratic nomination?
For people close to retirement, there are plenty of ifs to go around. If our savings will last, if we should take Social Security when we hit 62 or 67. MetLife can strengthen your retirement plan by providing a lifetime stream of income that's guaranteed and that works together with your investments, helping you create a safety net that promises Happy New Year's with guarantees for the if in life. Learn how MetLife can help you make the most of what you have in retirement.
At Grant Thornton, what they do for their clients, their expertise, and their partner involvement has made them one of the largest accounting organizations in the world, with a network of member firms in 110 countries, proving that when people really love what they do, they seem to want to keep doing it.
Good evening, Grant Thornton.
Grant Thornton, a passion for the business of accounting.
Issue 2, bowed but unbroken.
I will continue to stand for conservative principles. I'll fight alongside you for all the things we believe in. If this were only about me, I'd go on. But it's never been only about me. I entered this race because I love America. And because I love America, in this time of war, I feel I have to now stand aside for our party and for our country.
Question, did Romney's language here open the door already for a run in 2012? Now, I know you selected him as the vice presidential running mate for John McCain.
I did.
Right?
But I think his hopes
do you think that the nasties are too great between them?
Well, if McCain, who's a pretty temperamental guy, can get past it, Romney would be the inspired choice.
Don't you think McCain is the ultimate pragmatist when push comes to shove? And likewise, Romney?
Romney more so, I think, than
now,
McCain.
Wait a minute, don't undercut
your
hero.
No, I think, listen, I think Mitt Romney is suspending his campaign
is a pragmatist. He will not pick a guy who flamed out on the campaign trail. McCain was so weak during this, for much of this process, and Romney was unable to catch on.
John,
he couldn't even carry voters who care about the economy.
Let me disagree for this reason. Romney did well in Michigan. And Romney, you know, I don't think he can carry Massachusetts, but if you can carry Michigan, yeah, but okay, but if you can carry Michigan and pull that out of the Democratic base, you don't need Ohio. If I were McCain, I would be, look, it's his last shot.
What's your point?
I would take a hard look at Mitt Romney and see if you can't get by your animus the way Jack Kennedy did with Lyndon Johnson.
Would Mitt Romney stay in line as vice president?
Sure he
Yes,
would.
of course he
You're
would.
in line.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm here.
I still believe that this thing is a long way from being settled, and now that the field is down to 2, our chances have substantially improved.
Did you hear what he said?
I think he said his chances are substantially improved.
Yes. He said our chances are. What was the our? Our chances are substantially.
Ed Rollins is the other one.
Ed Rollins?
That's his manager.
Ed Rollins, okay.
Look, here's what he's got to do, John.
All those hardcore conservatives who have not shown a very great propensity to support John McCain. And the question is, can they be pragmatic? Can they say John McCain is the guy who's going to win the nomination and the guy who can realistically become president?
Yeah, but look, Huckabee he showed himself to be immensely politically talented, but he's not going to be the Republican nominee for president. He's just not.
And he's good on the campaign trail.
He did very well on Super Tuesday.
Great one-liners.
But he's a regional candidate. He can influence the nomination still and sort of the VP stakes, but he's not going to win it.
Here's his problem going forward,
What, 200 delegates?
He's got almost 200. Here's his problem going forward. If he wants to get the nomination, he's got to start taking down McCain to rally conservatives. But if you take down McCain or try to, you're not going to be vice president. So he's got a dilemma there, and my guess is he ought to resolve it by getting out soon.
Yeah, he's king of the evangelicals, and he'll probably end up with a talk show. He's very facile and he's charming. Good for television.
You're not putting down talk shows, though.
No,
Good question. Will we miss Romney before this race is over, Pat Buchanan?
I think he will. I think he ran a good race. I know he's criticized for flip-flopping and all that, but I think he grew tremendously during this. I think he's a good man, and I think he's a great strategic asset of the party.
He's the ultimate changeling, and that's what caught up with him.
Well, I think what he learned in this race is the difference between business strategy and politics. And he ran a campaign that was very much how you might run a business marketing campaign. He thought you tack in one direction for the nomination, I'll be able to tack in another direction if I become president. And he showed one really excellent business skill this week, which is he knew when to cut his losses, and he moved out very gracefully. There's this Shakespearean line, nothing became his life like the leaving of it. I think Mitt leaves on a real high, and he will be a force in the party.
You think his Mormonism killed his candidacy?
His Mormonism?
I
think it was his inauthenticity.
John, you know what?
You don't think they calculated that he's unelectable because of his Mormonism?
I think it wasn't a plus, but I think his bigger problem was the perceived inauthenticity. He had run from the beginning as the guy who knows business and who can fix the economy. He would be in a very strong position.
You think his Mormonism has evaporated?
No, I think it's a problem. It's a problem in the deep South, but by the time he got down there, his strategy of winning Iowa, winning New Hampshire had failed. He did a great job coming back. I think there is resistance in the deep South, and it's latent.
Well, Huckabee was a spoiler.
Huckabee was a spoiler.
Huckabee attacked him 3 times in 3 different locations, correct?
I know, and he did siphon off enough votes.
And he siphoned off enough votes. He was a spoiler. Issue 3, Tsunami Tuesday.
Super Tuesday's face-off between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama was history-making. 15 million votes were cast, and the difference between the 2 final Democratic contenders was a mere 50,000 votes, less than 1/2 of 1%. Hillary, 7,347,971. Barack, 7,294,851. That's votes cast. Okay, now the delegates. There are 2 kinds, standard and super. The standard delegates are party members who are pledged to vote for either Hillary or Barack at the National Convention in August, when the Democratic nominee will be officially chosen. The super delegates are unpledged, which means that they have the freedom to vote for either Hillary or Barack at the convention, regardless of any earlier commitments to either candidate. The total number of delegates, both standard and super, is 4,049. To win the nomination, the candidate must, of course, win 1/2 of that number plus 1. 2,025. So, who won more standard delegates on Super Tuesday? Hillary or Barack? Neither. As we go to press, it's an exact draw. Hillary 839, Barack 839. If you combine the standard delegate count with the current expected super delegate count, again, that is, if the super delegates vote as they have said they will vote, here's what you get. Hillary, 1,158. Barack, 1,072.
With over 20 primaries to go. That figure is true. You understand? Question, are the Democrats headed for a brokered convention? Eleanor Clift.
Maybe so, but it's still possible that one or the other would achieve a significant lead in delegates. In either case, the final decision is likely to fall into the hands of those superdelegates. And frankly, that's very risky. If they are seen as overturning the will of the people one way or the other, they would risk a revolution in the party reminiscent of Florida 2000. So events seem to be forcing these 2 candidates to run together, and that is full of risk as well.
To unify the party going into the convention, they should do it rather than have a brokered convention. One has to yield to the other. Will Obama yield to Hillary, or will Hillary yield to Obama?
Not until everything plays out, including perhaps a rerun of the elections in Michigan and Florida, which could...
Will Texas decide it with its biggest Hispanic vote?
On March 4, Texas and Ohio could.
Pennsylvania
on April 22nd could be the showdown. It used to be a showdown primary in the past.
We now have Hillary putting $5 million of someone's money, and Obama curiously asked which one put the money in. That should be made clear.
Well, marital rights, common property, presumably it comes from their joint bank account.
You know, it was. I don't know whether he was preparing himself for Resco, which is going to happen in 18 days.
Well, I think. Look. I think Eleanor's basically right. I do believe this, though. Hillary's winning the big states, and if she wins Texas, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, the big states, and moves ahead, I think the superdelegates move to her. I do agree there's going to be enormous pressure to put Barack Obama on that ticket if Hillary wins.
Why is he asking where Hillary's money comes from?
He's probably got
making that clear to the press.
Probably got
the press almost prompted him with that question.
No, the press asked him about her tax return.
First of all, the fact that her campaign is running out of money is quite stunning. Secondly,
who said that?
Clintons,
who said that?
The
She's
fact that
getting new money from the net. She's getting more money from the net.
Secondly, when the Clintons came to Washington, they didn't even own a house, and now they're very wealthy, and he has this web of connections that introduce possible conflict. Well, wealth
not bad for
in the minds of most people.
I understand.
It's fair. It's fair for Obama and it's fair for
They've been on the public payroll their whole life.
For Obama and/or the Republicans to raise questions about potential conflicts of interest. That's out there, and now it's going to be explored.
Wait a minute. What's the real reason why Romney stepped out of the race?
Oh, you want to go back to the last
I know you've got something to say.
The real reason is because conservatives came to him way too late. Conservatives were like Paris Hilton at Bungalow 8. Oh, I
are they,
love
just
Rudy.
whiners?
Oh,
is that
wait,
what they
I love
are?
Fred Thompson. Oh, wait, I love Mike Huckabee. Oh, by the time their fickle heart got to Mitt Romney, it was too late for him. That was the reason why, because it didn't give him enough time.
Well,
Getting back to the money,
was late coming to
Why are you always befouling your own nest, your conservative nest? Why do you befoul it?
You asked the question also about Hillary's money.
Issue
the reason
4.
Obama raised it is
Issue 4.
because the Clintons have never disclosed where a lot of that money is coming from. Bill is sitting on corporate boards. He's in this murky consulting deals with a lot of companies like Ukaipa and InfoUSA.
The dirty money,
what is he doing for that money?
The dirty money is not just Resco. The dirty money is the Clintons' money. Is that what's implied?
That's right.
Issue 4, Bloomberg's moment, yes.
I've got the greatest job in the world, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Bloomberg, mayor of New York City, a Democrat turned Republican turned independent. He wants to be U.S. president, has been showing ankle for a year. His time has now come. Republicans are splintered because McCain has alienated the GOP conservative base. Democrats are splintered because of the Clinton-Obama fight. So this is Bloomberg's moment, and he will run for U.S. president as an independent. True or false?
If you think Bloomberg's going to get the conservative vote, John, you better go back to Politics 101.
Will he run?
No, he's not going to run. He wouldn't win a single state if he did.
You've always been adverse to independent candidates. He started with the
I ran one myself, John.
3.
With McCain staking a claim to the independent vote, and if it's Obama, he clearly won't get in. Maybe if it's Hillary on the other half, he'll be tempted. But I think he's a rational man. It is irrational
to run to the left of Hillary.
I'm going to rephrase the question. Does the divided condition of both the Democratic and Republican parties create a political opening for a winning independent ticket?
No, I don't think it's possible. Michael Bloomberg is a pragmatist. He's a billionaire for a reason. He's going to look at this in a cold, calculating way. I agree totally with what Eleanor had to say. McCain's got appeal to moderates and independents. That was Bloomberg's whole shtick. And if the Democrats nominate Barack Obama, that's his shtick too.
Never say never, and there have been lots of turnarounds and things that we predicted have not come true. But I think what Bloomberg was looking for was a race with very polarizing candidates on both sides who were not good at appealing to the center. And as it happens, there's an excellent possibility the Republicans will choose someone, John McCain, who has great appeal for independence. And if the Democrats choose Obama, they'll have a candidate who can do that too. What Bloomberg doesn't want to do is to be a spoiler. He wants to be a serious national figure who contributes to the national debate. If he doesn't feel he can do that with his candidacy, he won't do it.
He's not making any noises in New York?
Of course he's making noises, and the people around him are making noises. But
Zuckerman,
I think the odds are lower now than they were before.
Who's managing his campaign?
John,
his pseudo-campaign?
Our friend,
or his
preparatory
campaign?
Hey, John, our friend Mort Zuckerman, who was very, very high on him, sitting in that chair repeatedly. I talked to Mort. He is less convinced that Bloomberg's going to run.
The odds
After
are decreasing.
what, the events of this week? After Super Tuesday?
Well, I was up in New York after the events, I think, of Tuesday.
Super Tuesday and McCain. I mean, the odds, the rationale for a Bloomberg campaign is decreasing. And the thing that's important to remember about Mike Bloomberg is he is serious. He doesn't. I think that he would run even if he didn't think he could.
Hey, wait a minute.
Bloomberg could not win a single state in this country.
He wants to make a positive.
I don't care what he
Before we go to
wants, he couldn't win a
predictions, Pat,
single
excuse me, before we go to predictions, I'm still not clear. Who's going to yield to whom? Obama to Clinton or Clinton to Obama?
Obama will yield to Clinton. I don't know about the other one, whether Clinton would yield to Obama's VP, but I think she should.
You mean seniority rules?
Yeah, right.
Well, she's been there.
Right. Obama can afford an 8-year apprenticeship. He's the clear heir apparent for the Democrats. Does he want to spend the time in the White House or casting a zillion votes on Capitol Hill that people can attack him for?
Out of the two, and it would be a draw, but he would be the one to yield. And if he were to do so graciously, then he becomes the leading Democratic voice, especially if McCain gets elected
What's
president.
the force majeure that's going to make him yield? I still don't see it.
See, I think actually it's too early to ask the question, and I think the question is being put out there.
Are you taking my question?
No, the question is being put out there by the Clinton campaign, because what they're really worried about is that people will not support Hillary. Democrats won't support Hillary because they got so excited about Obama. So it's very helpful for Hillary Clinton for people to be saying, don't worry about it. Barack will be her vice president. It'll be both of them. It'll be a dream ticket.
The answer is it's too close to call. We'll be right back with predictions.
The McLaughlin Group is brought to you in part by Grant Thornton, dedicated to serving clients worldwide with a singular passion for the business of accounting.
For people close to retirement, there are plenty of ifs to go around. If our savings will last, if we should take Social Security when we hit 62 or 67. MetLife can strengthen your retirement plan by providing a lifetime stream of income that's guaranteed and that works together with your investments, helping you create a safety net that promises Happy New Year's with guarantees for the if in life. Learn how MetLife can help you make the most of what you have in retirement.
Predictions, Pat.
The Democratic attack on McCain will begin, and the theme will be McCain represents Bush's third term, except he'll give us 100 years in Iraq.
Helena.
McCain's missed vote on the economic stimulus package will come back to haunt him in the fall.
Monica.
The upcoming Lebanese parliamentary session to elect a new Lebanese president has become a tug of war between Syria, the Arab League, and Iran will prevail.
Christian.
The Fed will continue to lower interest rates.
Robert Mugabe, the head of state for 28 years in Zimbabwe, will handily win re-election again next month, but will resign from office before July of 2009. Bye-bye. Put that in.